like wow, what a year.
Honestly, that exact phrase has come into my mind like 3 times today. Like, it has been a year, and an incredibly transformative year at that. I know I haven't experienced this sort of like upheaval in my life at this, high of a rate and in such a full spectrum way.
Ever.
Yeah. Absolutely ever.
Me neither.
But we've gotten to be on the ride together, and that's really important. And I know that I wouldn't have been able to get through it without somebody to have as a sounding board, especially someone that like had a similar experience as I did. I was even thinking today just like how thankful I am that like when I started seeing you post at the beginning of the year, like I think I'm just gonna like reach out and like see if everything's okay.
Thank God.
It seems like things might not be, because this just is like a little bit of out of character communication from her to the outside world through her social media and stuff. It just seemed like a moment for it. So I'm really glad that it was well received and that you were like, yeah, let's go get food and just talk about it.
Yeah.
Because, I think I texted you like, I think we're like kind of going through a similar thing.
I think your words were, oh my God, that is the exact same thing I went through.
Yeah, when you like told me like what was happening, it's like, okay, we need to go and get some food and unpack it. So,
and just as like pre backstory, I went through a really crazy breakup in April, and it ultimately led to my divorce. And just what I went through in my breakup just happened to be like the exact same thing that you did, for anybody listening.
Yeah, and only 3 months earlier or 4 months earlier in January at the turn of midnight, my entire last 10 years just exploded all over the living room and was no more. And it almost seemed completely and totally out of our control. It was like a higher hand that was moving things around just because of a lack of strength within myself. Even if I knew there was discord, I knew there was things wrong, I was still struggling so much trying to figure out what the right thing to do was or what the way forward was. And I just remember asking the universe, like, I need help. Like, please help me figure out what the right thing to do is and figure out how to navigate this. And it was almost like, hold my sparkling water.
Here you go.
Let me just take care of this one for you. And I know that yours was similar like that too, where
just in my case, just an unexpected rupture of the relationship. And I was in such a pattern in my relationship where I thought everything was cool. I thought I was in a moderately healthy situation. And just looking back now, the universe was just orchestrating in such a beautiful, explosive way to wake me up. Because what I noticed after getting out of it was that I was acting a certain way and behaving with these patterns that I've been through in many relationships in my life. And energetically, I had worked on myself and gotten to a place where I just wanted to live my best life and be the best version of me. So I was already just leveling up so much and rising into different frequency that I literally couldn't stay where I was at anymore. So the world was just like, you have to get off this ride.
Yeah, and this is how we're going to do it. Like, I'm taking the wheel now because you don't even have the ability to see it with like all of your emotions being so hyper present in a relationship like a marriage or a 10-year-long relationship, whatever it is. Like, when you're that intertwined with somebody or in any situation, it's really hard to see it from an outside perspective and have the clarity and the fortitude enough to be like, okay, this is not good enough and this is how I'm going to get out of it. It almost takes some divine rupture to take over.
Yeah, tower moment.
Yeah, very much so, a tower moment. And so how do you feel like, looking back, do you think that there's anything that you could have changed or done or something that would have been a light bulb enough for you to get up and go if it wasn't just like essentially like ripped away from you?
I don't it would have taken a lot because I was in such a mode of people pleasing and over giving and over caretaking in relationships, whether it's been friendships, but most especially partners. And I am the type of person that will absolutely see somebody's potential and just want to nurture the hell out of them until they can achieve it to show them that they can do it.
Yeah.
But we can't do all the work for everybody. So it's amazing how I lost myself in that. So I would have probably tried to hold it together for anything and, settled for any sort of little crumb that would have like been made it
Enough
still
to keep
okay.
it going. Yeah. Just like, oh, okay, there's a little glimmer. There's
Yeah.
a little bit of hope that you can just like hang on and keep on the
Mhm.
ride with.
Mhm.
I understand that for
And
sure.
it's crazy because that brought us together, and then I was so just floored by one the amount of like amazing women that were showing up in my life that were just like the best I've ever met. The women that came and supported me, I was absolutely floored with. And I know that you noticed that too around
Yeah, I
you.
mean it's been hyper present.
Mhm.
I mean, definitely men, but it was really apparent in my sphere the women that were choosing the sovereignty over the
Mhm.
dependency and just saying, okay, absolutely no more. But I don't know the way forward.
Mhm.
And some riff came in and just made it possible or took away whatever was the
Mhm.
problem was.
And I met a few also during the year that had just found the strength enough to say, like, I'm not going to live this way anymore. I'm not going to be in this relationship anymore or this job. And we're just making these big, bold moves to change their life. And I mean, really like seeing a lot of massage clients and different people. I think 2025 just was utterly transformational for a lot of people, especially the people that are on the path of I mean, we're all on the spiritual path,
Sure.
but those who are really,
Conscious of
really
their,
conscious of
yeah.
it and like focused on it and been, doing all the practices and working on themselves, doing the work on themselves. It's like, I feel like this is just a time of like building and building, and it seems to be accelerating faster and faster, which is amazing.
Yeah, because the train really hasn't stopped.
Mm-mm.
Like, we were even seeing examples in the past few days and weeks of just like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's
Mm-hmm.
another one choosing herself, choosing himself, choosing not to live in this space of fantasy
Mm-hmm.
almost, where it's like you see the soul in people, and that's where your like desire for their potential is cultivated and nurtured, but it's not your responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
actualize that potential, it's theirs. So that desire to see them move into their highest timeline, I think, keeps us in a space, whether it be a job or relationship or family, whatever. I think that you just want that so badly for somebody, and just realizing it's impossible to take that on yourself. It's everyone's
Yeah,
own personal.
because at what cost? At what cost do you take that on? Do you take it on as at the cost of yourself? At the cost of your own happiness? Do we put
Mhm.
ourselves in these lives where we are, living in this box because we have expectations set on us, or we have fear of judgment, or, there's fear in a lot of different directions. And so we sacrifice all of our wants and our desires and our happiness just for other people or for fear of not being able to go forward.
Mhm. And almost at the detriment of not only ourselves, but other facets of our life as well. Our job suffers, or our family relationships
Mhm.
suffer, or these other facets of our life suffer because of this thing that we're holding on to and trying to mold, or
Mhm.
wait for it to get good or wait for it to get perfect, and everything else around you seems to like deteriorate or be like even like a duller version of what it could be, because you're putting all this focus into
Mhm.
trying to help elevate
Yeah.
someone else.
They have a what is it? One of the eight limbs of yoga is Brahmarya, and it means non-stealing, which can mean like not stealing, but one of the ways I've been looking at it over the past year is stealing, not stealing people's energy, and also not robbing other people of experiences. So like, if you're afraid to put yourself out into the world, or if you're afraid to, you know, live your best life, you're robbing other people of the experience of your beauty. You're robbing other people of the experience of your energy. And on the same token, like, if we stay in these relationships where we think that we're doing good things by doing all these things for our partners and overextending ourselves and just staying in it as a sacrifice, we're actually robbing them of their own growth, because we're enabling them to live in a way that isn't like kicking their ass in the right direction.
Totally, yeah. Because I heard the other day, your pain and suffering, like, thank you for your pain and suffering, because you going through that is now something that you can give out to the world. Now something that you can, teach others and bring more light to, and bring more encouragement and more motivation for people to exit those sorts of situations. So if you rob somebody of their own experience of going through something really difficult, wanting to save somebody from themselves, almost, you're taking away their experience and inherently dimming your own
So
light.
I guess one of the things I think that I get from people that I talk to on the regular basis that are usually on my massage table are being in those relationships or being in that situation and knowing that they are unhappy, but not having a way out. And I think for most people, or not knowing what to do. And I think most people are scared, for one, and a lot of people feel like they can't because of X, Y, or Z financial reasons, or that would never work because I can't get another job because I'm not educated enough for this and this and this. So I think working to try to tell our story and being vulnerable with everybody and sharing with other women and other people is really important, because we can help give advice on that, right?
100%. Well, and I know that in my particular situation, it took me 2 and 3 years of seeing other people being motivated enough to get out of a circumstance that wasn't serving their highest timeline, to be like, I want to do that. I want to feel like that. Like, I'm ready to elevate my quality of life and elevate my quality of relationships too. And then I look at my reality and it's not mirroring in my desires, you know what I mean? And it's so, having the motivation from all of those people was like compound interest. When it came to that moment of explosion last New Year's, it gave me strength to continue to just allow that to happen and to just move through it and accept it. And then with that surrender, I was met with you especially, and multiple other people that come and lift your chair up and walk you out of the room and help to carry you onto the actual path that you have been seeing yourself on and been seeing these other people on. Like, oh, I just want that, sense of elevation, or that sense of sweetness in my life, or that sense of just like, fuck you, you know what I mean? And not having the courage to do it, or just being too sad to do it. Too sad to let go.
And not
like
having
what
the
you've
confidence
built.
or any of that. The pain is real.
The pain is very, very real.
And it's not easy. It's not the easy path, and so I think that's a huge thing that also keeps people back. But this was a major motivating factor for us to get out there and just start talking about this stuff, because it's really helpful to see others go through the same thing and to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel and you can do it and you are strong enough.
Yeah, I feel like when we decided to share with one another, it was like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God somebody else feels like that. The misery loves company sort of thing, but in a positive way. We didn't suck the life out of one another. We were almost giving one another life. Yeah, it was the light in this dark ass tunnel that we had, was one another, just having that mirrored experience, or just the mirrored emotions, even if our experiences were, completely different, which they were exactly the same. But if they had been completely different, at least to have somebody be like, I'm feeling the same thing as you are, and we're going through this process together. We never would have had that had either both of us not had the sense of vulnerability enough to open up to one another and say, yeah, no, this is really hard. My relationship is failing. I'm not where I want to be. I see where I want to go, but I don't know how to get there. And it's like, okay, we can pause together. We can unpack this. We're locked in arms. You're not alone.
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy. And yeah, to have that support is invaluable along the road of recovery from any detrimental experience, anything that where you feel like something that you love or had aspirations for toward like not working out. It's invaluable to have somebody to confide in, and to having a confidant is life-giving. Yeah.
Another thing that helped me a lot, and you just turned 1 year from your rupture.
Yeah, my
from
1
your
year anniversary.
Divine intervention.
That's exactly the way to describe it.
So I know there's been levels and layers and a lot of pain and a lot of growth and a lot of things that have helped you. One of the things that helped me a lot was just really paying attention to people through social media or anything that were inspiring me, and people that have been through things like this, people that were on the spiritual path, people that were into what I was into, and finding lots of synchronicities with that, and just
linking up with groups of people that were going through the same thing, and finding therapy in that, not having to show up to a therapy session with one other person that has no idea about your story, but seeking, what is the word I'm looking for? Seeking,
I was going to say like solidarity, but I don't think that's the right
No,
word.
it's like refuge, seeking refuge in a container of other people that are going through the same thing is, really gave us a place to sit with it and not have to run from it. It's like, you're just not alone, and there are other people going through this, and this is how they're navigating it. And as we all do, it's like, okay, a little piece of that, little piece of that, little piece of that you can apply to your own story. Nobody has like a one-stop fix for heartbreak or for grief or any of the tough emotions that we experience as humans. We all collect modalities from many sources, but it does take courage to step into those spaces and say, okay, I'm ready to look at what is true and find other people that are speaking about their truth as well, and be honest about where you're at. The honesty piece, because you're admitting failure essentially, which is so hard for so many people, regardless of what it is. Failing sucks.
Yeah, it's really hard. And did you find that when you found people that were obviously a small support group and we found each other, but on the same side of that, did you notice that you let go of people, that people fell away that really weren't the same to you anymore? Did that change?
My perspective on a lot of the relationships that I had in my sphere changed once I was up and out of that toxic relationship. So it was easier to notice like, oh, it's happening there too.
Yeah.
Oh, those are personality traits that I don't align with anymore, or my relationship mirrored it, like what was going on in my toxic relationship, that my intimate toxic relationship was being mirrored in these other friendships, in other family members, things like that, and it made it easier to just say, nope, not that either.
I don't do that anymore.
You're going away with that bag of trash too. And not that, the people that we're with don't necessarily have to be a bag of trash in order for you to leave, but I'm taking the trash out. I'm taking these things out of my life that do not align with where I see myself wanting to be. Like I said, these, 2 and 3 years of being like, I want to do that. I want to step into my own light and be my own version of what I'm seeing other people doing.
And time just keeps ticking by.
Exactly.
Every single day.
And you just are still stuck and still stuck in a space where whatever you're keeping in your life is this blockade to that pathway. And so once the hardest one just got ripped away almost without my consent, essentially, it just happened, then it was easier to be like, no, I'm not accepting that anymore. And once I got over the hump, it became so clear where that was happening in other places in my life, because there were patterns that I was repeating, patterns that I was stuck in. This isn't a blame game on everybody else and everybody else is bad and I'm just good and I see the light and I'm ascending. It's like,
nope.
No. I've got a lot of toxic
I wish it was
loops.
like that.
Wouldn't it be lovely? But yeah, it's like it really brought me face to face with a lot of my toxic patterns, a lot of my coping mechanisms, a lot of things that I was doing personally that was holding me back from that highest version of myself. And again, made it just easier to see where the other obstacles were outside of myself that I had created in these other relationships with friends and family and so forth, and even jobs. So it's systemic throughout your whole life. And when you have that, when you get extracted like that, you're seeing your life from a bird's eye view almost. And it's just like, okay, no, dirty, not cool, not being treated right.
I can't believe I was doing that.
Can't believe
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why was I doing that?
And now that I have taken care of the hardest one, it's so much easier to just say no. And now, because I've throughout this year still been unraveling all of that, I've seen the darkness come and like try and meet me still. And it's like, no, I'm not letting that in this time.
What's your theory on that? Is that tests?
I think it's tests. I think it's tests as to whether or not you're actually seeing, actually embodying your desires and not just thinking about wanting a thing. It's like, no, I'm going to do the things that it requires in order to be that thing, get that thing, do that thing.
Yeah. Are you living that way?
Is
that the way you're living?
Yeah. I saw a thing the other day that said, if someone followed you around for 7 days and, took note on your daily habits, would society evolve or collapse?
Ooh, that's good.
It's like, oh, well, okay, we're going to go back to the drawing board, because it's really confronting.
Yeah.
All of it is very, very confronting, especially when you've been in the container of an intimate relationship for a really long time. You're not seeing those things for their true essence. And so the clarity coming out of it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that I was allowing all of these things to perpetuate in myself and therefore draw in all of these other things. And you have to walk the walk.
And you've been a spiritual person all of your life, right? I mean, you've been believing in these principles forever that we co-create our universe, as do I. And you believe that energy works in ways that you attract what you put out, And it's funny that we can be those kind of people and still find ourselves in these human situations where we're allowing certain things to take place. And for me, it would be easy, especially at first, being super hurt by what happened in my relationship. It was an abrupt leaving by my ex-husband, and he was immediately with somebody else. I was absolutely gutted. It ripped me apart, So I think for a lot of people, it's really easy to just be like, oh my God, like he's a terrible person and all that, and just shift all the blame and push it away from me.
And vilify them.
Yeah. And, what I did was I just had to go straight inward and face everything within myself of why I was living in that type of relationship. And I saw patterns too with him and people I have been friends with in the past and everything that were the exact same and it basically came down to me abandoning myself for others and, caring too much about what people major codependency stuff with me. it was very clear this time around. My mom always said, like, if you don't, I don't know exactly how it's been worded, but if you don't face, your stuff and fix it, it's going to recreate itself in another face later. And so it does. And that's like the same thing as a test from the universe. It's like, it's going to keep coming up until you're done with it. And
until
then it's not
you
going to
figured
come
your
up
way
anymore.
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you understand it. Because to your point, we, walk this spiritual path. We go along collecting all of these tools and putting in our bag and learning about all of these things. But until you've really experienced all these different, until you've gone through all of these experiences, you don't really understand exactly how these tools work, exactly how to use them. They're not necessarily being utilized until you really understand them, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's like religion. It's nothing you can just hand somebody and be like, "Here, just learn this."
It's not a playbook.
We have to live through these experiences to learn it. Luckily, I graduated that level.
Yeah, made it.
Not saying that I have ascended above my earth body.
No,
but
of course.
Those specific lessons regarding self-abandonment, I really, really feel like 2025 just handed me the learning for it. Like, I feel like I learned a lot about myself and about relationships, and I'm thankful. Coming out, you're a year in, I'm 8 months in, and I am like, couldn't be more grateful that it happened. And
100%. And it's, it's almost like, any other addictions. You don't realize the value of being on the other side until you're there. And it's just like, wow, man, I can't believe that I spent so much time on the other side of the fence ruminating on how to fix it, how to stay in it, how to perpetuate the thing and just keep chugging along, or not facing any of it and just accepting it because of whatever it is that you're addicted to, this love or this drug or this alcohol or whatever has the vice grip on you. It's wild to be on the other side of it and say, oh my gosh, like, thankful for the experience, thankful for the lesson, thankful for my strength, for my fortitude to make the choice to continue. Even if it wasn't a choice initially, you have to day after day make that choice, just like with sobriety. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's a daily choice for a really long time to continue walking that way.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure I was going to die at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. You feel completely ripped out of your body. Your whole reality shatters. So that shattering, it fractures your vision. It fractures your trajectory. It fractures your ability to even say, oh my gosh, okay, like, now what? You know what I mean? I've been so wholly immersed in this mode of operating with this circumstance that I was dreaming about other circumstances, but I wasn't strategizing any of it.
And here I am losing my identity. And that's the thing.
In the process.
It's a loss of identity. It's a loss of former self. So it's death. It's death. And we all go through deaths over and over. I think there's a meme that I loved that was like somebody on a grave, and it's like me at the 1,000th funeral of like my old selves, of all the lives that died in this life.
Yeah, because you do have to mourn the death of all these versions of yourself and all of the people that go along with those versions. Because aside from the relationship, once the relationship was gone, again, sitting there with the mirror of myself and realizing what was mine, what was my responsibility to still like see and to work on and to change in order to end up in that higher timeline that I was in desire of.
I think as far as energy goes, and people that are really working on themselves and have that vision of wanting to have a better life and are doing all the work and looking at themselves and trying to make things better, and they still remain in their situations, their frequency is changing, and then you find yourself living in the same environment where you're kind of a changing person. So energetically, it just doesn't work anymore. So naturally, something has to happen to guide those things in a different direction because it's polarizing.
Yeah, the misalignment becomes not only like visible but palpable, and you are inherently being drawn away.
And that's how we're forced out of situations, but I think the more we fine tune our intuition and the way that we have feelers about things, the quicker we can be responsive to it. I think 2 years ago, my New Year's resolution was to listen to the whispers of my soul before they become screams. Because no matter what road you're going down, if you feel that misalignment and you're staying in that box that you're in and you are changing, it's not going to be sustainable eventually. Right? Something is going to have to change.
Something's going to have to change.
So it's just energetically it won't work anymore. So that's, I think after coming out of all that, one of the whys for me of why that happened to me, definitely why that happened to you, and why life happens in certain ways for everybody. And finding the places where you're attracting the things that you're putting out is where we need to be.
Yeah, well, our deep desires are really magnetic. And so when you start walking towards your deepest desires and the things in your life are not aligned with that desire, they're automatically just going to start fracturing and falling away. And the acceptance of that is part of your elevation. It's part of your journey. And, it comes with acceptance and surrender and letting go of the things that aren't in alignment with that desire of yours, ultimately forcing you to leave things behind and to change things. And even if it's like, why does that have to go? It's like, you just have to trust that divine order that, and since my relationship broke off, it's just been like, whatever that is, I'm just going to trust it because I know it's walking me closer,
it's taking
and closer.
me where I want to go.
Yeah. So even if something's like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Like I'm going to trust that is part of this, and noticing the lessons, being able to slow down enough to pause and notice when you're being met with either a repeated pattern or something new, and making the conscious choice to not do the repeated pattern and to walk in the different direction, to do the different thing so that you can have a different result.
Takes a lot of courage.
A whole lot of courage.
And I know we were talking about how it seems to be a collective consciousness thing where things are just speeding up, and people are awakening more, and things are evolving just in humankind spiritually and astrologically. 2025 was a deep year of relationship stuff, and year of the snake, the shedding of layers, and saying goodbye to parts of ourselves. So I think that all of those things together just made for really, it's been interesting times.
yeah, that shedding has been palpable for everybody, and I think a lot of us that are aware that we're on this spiritual journey and are striving to be better are paying attention to those archetypal structures that give us the focus to anchor into and say, okay, like that makes sense. That's something that I can utilize to really to soothe the blow of the journey. And the shedding, as a snake sheds, it's able to watch the past strip away, and it's able to see the clarity that's being birthed through that. But it's in that pause after the shedding that the new scales have to build strength and have to recalibrate and reset and really harden and strengthen in order for him to keep moving. The integration period. So the not being able to slow down and not rushing through the hard parts of it was such a beautiful and difficult lesson, but something that I went far out of my way to practice throughout the whole year. Like, just slow down. Don't rush through this.
It's the ticket.
It is the ticket.
It's the ticket. It is the ticket. It's like not spiritual bypassing. We don't just say, everything's fine and I'm vibrating at the happy frequency. So this is who
Uh-huh.
I am and everything good will come. That's just not how it works. Like we have to go through hell sometimes and sit in the pain to ever be able to alchemize it. There's no way that it just happens, and it takes you experiencing it and being in the dark places and choosing time and time again yourself and what's best for you.
I agree. Yeah. The ability to honor the authentic version of yourself, because if you just walk around in the love and the light and everything's perfect, then in my opinion, you are not operating in an authentic frequency, which is magnetic. It's not going to draw on your community, your true community that is going to actually support you. So surrendering to that authentic self of yours is the lock and key to be able to go through the next door, dropping into that vulnerable space and just being honest about, no, this is shit. It's not love and light and like glitter and rainbows and unicorns. Like, this is awful. This feels like shit. Who's with me? You know what I mean? and who needs help? Like, we are here to help one another. It's healing isn't performative. The spirituality is not meant to be performative. It's gritty and it's not pretty, and being honest about that, I think, is just going to attract people that are strong enough and willing enough to go through it with you and to support you through it, for sure. If you hide it, you're going to be all by yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, if you would have told me several years ago that I would be talking about my personal life or spirituality or anything online or in social media, like I would have thought you were crazy, because I never had that kind of courage, because I've always been scared to use my voice. I've always doubted myself. I've always, thought maybe I didn't have enough information on things, or I had to say things in a certain way or come across a certain way to be perfect or to be palatable or be okay or not make these people offended or not make these people mad. And in the end, none of it matters. What matters is I have something to give that will help people, because the only thing I really feel truly connected to being here on this planet is helping people. And my voice is a powerful way to use it. So I've had to get over that to step into this, and it's hopefully going to inspire other people to do the same thing.
Agreed. It's necessary to express where you're at, and even not even on a broad platform, not even on social media or online, like just telling people in my life that things aren't as good as I've been playing like they are was terrifying.
Yeah.
Because again, it's an admittance of failure. It's an admittance that you're tolerating something that is not necessarily good for you. And sure, maybe people can already see it that are in your life, but it takes courage to just admit that things aren't going great.
Yeah.
Like, things are hard, things are wrong. And some people can, just by opening up in that way, can get through the hurdles in their relationship, can get through the hurdles just by inviting somebody else into that space and saying, I'm struggling. Do you have any advice? Or I'm struggling. Will you just sit with me and listen to me about it? Like, just hearing ourselves talk about our emotions, you can be like, oh, that's not actually how I feel, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I can't believe that I didn't have the clarity until I said it.
Yeah. There's strength in talking about it.
There really is.
There's strength in expression and getting it out. And I hope that we can help people do that.
Yeah, it's definitely an invitation to step into that space if it's something that you've been worried about, the renderings from you expressing yourself. Us choosing to sit here today is an invitation for you to come and sit with us and literally express yourself as well. Bring it in for the real thing, because there is a place for your struggle. There is a place for your heart and for your desires that's outside of yourself, and other people are willing to hold that for you and with you if you have the strength to admit it, and the strength to come and sit down and say it's not all bunnies and butterflies, and ask for a way forward, even even just saying anything out loud, sitting in your own space and saying, I need help. Please help me.
Yeah.
Something will come to meet 100%. You and
100%.
help you.
Well, even sending the words out to the universe.
Because that's exactly what happened in my circumstance, where it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this situation or how to find the strength to get out of it. Like, please help me. And by God, she did. Yeah. She was like, hold my beer. I got this one. Yeah. You can sit down. And I had no control over it. So ask for help. That is definitely word to the wise.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad that you reached out to me when you did. That was just, you're an angel. And I'm so excited to be doing this with you. And we have limitless amounts of juicy things to talk about.
Unpack. So yeah, we're very excited to continue doing that and to continue exercising our vulnerability by sitting here and using our voice, which is something that's, been terrifying for us in the past as well. So
yeah. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for listening and being here and choosing to sit with us. And yeah, we just really hope that you can take something from it, a little piece of it that can get put in your pocket, utilized, learned, and understood.
Yes.